Ron Roosh along with Daryl Sittler at the forum. Here are the officials for tonight's game. All NHL. Ron Wicks, the referee. John D'Amico and Leon Stickle, the linesmen. They are veteran officials, and they are going to have a barn burner to officiate here tonight. As the Soviet Union meets Czechoslovakia, there you see the young goaltender for Czechoslovakia, 19-year-old Dominik Hasek. And there are some of the great stars from the Soviet Union that he will have to face, this youngster. It's not the first time that he's played a key game against the Soviet Union. He played in a 7-2 victory over the Soviet Union in the Sweden Cup earlier this year, just after the Olympics. So far as the Soviet Union is concerned, in this post-Vladislav Tretiak era, they have in goal to start this tournament, Vladimir Mышkin. There you see him, number 1. Mышkin, who has been very familiar, as you see the Czechoslovakian lineup, has been familiar to Canadian hockey fans, NHL hockey fans, of course, for his work in the Challenge Cup. He shut out the NHL All-Stars in the deciding game of the Challenge Cup in 1979, a game that Tretiak was not in. And there you see the story after one full day of play in the Canada Cup. The USA, Canada, along with Germany and Sweden have been in action. The winners, of course, yesterday in Halifax, the United States. Here at the Montreal Forum, Team Canada by 7-1 in the case of the United States and 7-2 margins. And one of these teams, barring a tie, will be moving into a tie for first place after the first round of the Canada Cup. For Team Canada, this is a day off from regular competition. Wayne Gretzky leading the scoring race, followed by Mike Bossy, Mike Gartner, and Brian Trottier of Team USA in there as well, tied for second place behind the fellow who always seems to be at the top of the list, Wayne Gretzky, whether it's the first game of the year or not. That's David A. Jensen, by the way, of Team USA with a goal and an assist in yesterday's game against Sweden. We're just about set to go. There's C. Korbala of Czechoslovakia. Jan Korbala, Yaroslav, sometimes he's referred to. And we're set to go. Ron Wicks drops the puck. Hasek battling for it at center ice. Korbala's got the puck, and he brings it in over the line now. Korbala taking a shot wide of the net. This will be a tremendously high-paced game as Horshova goes back deep in his own zone. Around the boards now, trying to dig it out along the boards. Larionov is in there. Krutov firing it in there, and it's scooped up by Hasek, and he holds on and will have a face-off deep in the Czechoslovakian zone.
Well, I was talking to Ludi Bukac yesterday, and he likes to put this line of Korbala, Hasek, and Hrdini against the big Soviet line of Larionov, Krutov, and Makarov. He seems to have had success in the past, and he's doing it again tonight.
Well, you see the fine centerman of this great line for the Soviet Union, the one we came to call the Greens in Sarajevo for the practice sweaters they wore. But they don't win the draw there. The puck is through center ice. Good check thrown by Kasatonov, but he got himself out of position. It was Larionov who came back, collected the puck now for the Soviet Union. Makarov, he clears it to center ice, but Hasek shoots it right back down in there. Czechoslovakia changing on the fly. Out to Makarov. Makarov, a rink-wide pass. Here's Krutov with a bit of a clear track to the net. Shoots it right on. Save is made by Hasek. Went to his knees. It looked like Krutov kind of fanned on that as he tried to get the shot away. Puck is cleared near the line. Saved just at the line by Pervukin. Now here comes Czechoslovakia out of the zone. Edward Uvira. Uvira shooting it in. Around the boards on the far side now. Pervukin collects it, but he can't hold it in. Sabozil holding it in now and moving it to the side of the net. Pervukin is in there, but he's under some checking pressure there from Lukacs. Lukacs kicking it along the boards for Czechoslovakia. He digs it free, tries to get it in front. Sabozil's got it, takes the shot. It's gloved by Mышkin. He holds on, and the shots on goal go even at one apiece.
Well, there's Mышkin. He took the place of Tretiak, as we all know, and from what I hear, Tretiak was very disappointed when he got pulled in the game in 1980. He still feels that if he would have been left in that game, the Soviets would have won the gold medal in that series. But he's got some big shoes to fill.
Well, the story, of course, in those 80 Olympics at Lake Placid was that he let in a soft goal right at the end of the period, had Tretiak, by Mark Johnson. They pulled Tretiak, put Mышkin in. He gave up the tying and the winning goals. The United States went on to win the gold medal. So even in that game, Tretiak was not the losing goaltender. And they say that ever since. Tianov, even as a coach, has been second-guessing himself for making that move. As much as Tianov ever second-guessed himself. He's a very confident man. Here's Klima for Czechoslovakia at center ice, beating it ahead. Kamish trying to hook it back. Klima now tries to make a check, but in over the line quickly is Kovin. Kovin hooked down as he tried to move towards the net by Banak. Now back out to the blue line it comes. It's kept in there by Stelnov. Now out at center ice. He stops. Stelnov gets it again. Take a look at the hitting going on now. Kamish is in there. Stelnov getting a bit of a rough ride along the boards. Kamish as well. Flips it ahead. Klima, this young line, doing a pretty good job out there for Czechoslovakia now. They're all just 20 years of age. The line of Kamish, Rosol, and Klima. At center ice now. Kovin trying to tap it ahead. A casual pass. Skvortsov couldn't control it. Now Varnakov's got it, but he's checked on the play. Skvortsov. Varnakov into the corner for Kovin. Kovin jammed in against the boards. In there as well is Horshova for Czechoslovakia. The puck comes out along the boards now. Now behind the net, Czechoslovakia moving it with Ruzicka getting it in there. Now out along the boards for Rosol. Out at center ice. Great pass. Ruzicka with a shot, and it deflected up over top of the net. On the boards on the far side, it's Yashin for the Soviet Union. Around the boards, Bilялетdinov, the veteran, out to center ice now. Svetlov's in over the line. Yashin in front. He rolled it in front. Yashin was tied up completely on the play with a good defensive play by František Nuzil. Behind the net now, the Soviet Union. Yashin's back in there, but his pass is intercepted. It's deflected out to center ice, and Svetlov has it. Svetlov cutting through center ice. Takes the check out there by Lala. Ruzicka, but he can't hold it. Kodletz has got it inside his own zone. The lead pass for Ruzicka. Quickly throws it over to the far side. Putting himself offside on the play is Lala. And the whistle goes. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. For the Soviet Union, they have Shepelov and Kojevnikov out there. And as we get set for the face-off, here's Eddie downstairs.
Thanks, Ron. Something to observe. On the Russian team, I'm just behind and to the left of the bench, and the Russian team, not one right-hand shot. I wonder why.
Well, we've noticed that. It's been for a couple of years like that now. And what's it all mean is what we asked ourselves up here, Darrell and I, as we were watching them work out. Apparently, to the Soviet hockey fortunes, it means absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter which side you shoot on.
Exactly. We talk in the NHL about trading for a right-handed pointman or a right winger for a power play or whatever. They seem to have had great success with all left-handers.
Saw a shot there of Edward Uvira. Got into a fight with Bob Bourne, an international hockey fight, a rarity during the exhibition schedule prior to the Olympics. Here's Leva going in now. He's tied up as he goes in by Gusarov. Rosil, he's jammed up against the boards. They poke it free. It's cleared out to center ice. Leva couldn't knock it down. Leva going back into his own zone. He was voted the best player in Czechoslovakian hockey last year, Igor Leva. Out along the boards it comes now to center ice. Czechoslovakia leading the rush. Vincent Lukács over the line. Feeds into the wing. They cleared in front. Rosil had a great chance. And down goes Mышkin, and he covers up. And we'll have a face-off. 4:19 gone in the first period. No score in the game. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Here's the play where Lukács is coming down the wing. He sees an open man in front. I think it's Leva there. He has the open net to shoot at. The puck was flipping a little bit. He missed it.
Well, good play. Very neatly set up at the side of the net. And now we've got the face-off to the left of goaltender Vladimir Mышkin. Here's the shot kicked out by Mышkin. It goes up in the corner now. Starikov along the boards. Musil can't knock it down. Out of center ice, Banak. Pasek swinging through center ice. Korbula gets the pass, but he couldn't hold it. Hrdina coming in with him. Hrdina trying to dig it out. Korbula's in the corner. Korbula behind the net now. Hrdina going in to help out. Starikov is in there as well. Hrdina now out in front, one-handing that puck, trying to fight off the checking. Boy, tough quarters in there right now. Korbula goes down. Hrdina's got it. Hrdina behind the net now. Pasek trying to work free in front of the net. And finally, he's wrestled to the ice, and Larionov has it. Larionov passing it to Stelnov. Out at center ice now. Here he comes over the line. Larionov dropping it for Krutov. And he couldn't get the shot away. Korbula makes the check. Now, swinging away again. It's Makarov. Along the boards. Starikov shooting it in. Krutov dropped it back. Nice play, but it was intercepted. The fence getting in the way of that play as Banak was there. Now, Czechoslovakia having trouble getting out of their zone against this great line. Makarov shot it wide. Krutov couldn't dig it out. Finally, it's cleared off the boards and down the ice, and we'll get an icing here. Svetlov didn't cross the red line, so it's waved off, and here comes Stelnov. Out to center ice, double two-line pass. Varnakov coming off the bench knocked it down, and the offside, the face-off back inside the Soviet zone.
The Czechoslovakia team, they try to get on the Russians very quickly. They do not want to give them time to make passes. As we know, the skills of the Soviet players, they can have quick hands, quick feet, and they get on them very quickly. That's their strategy.
There's a fellow who played in the Central Hockey League and took some of the things he learned there, plus some of the things in international hockey, and he's, I think, one of the great hockey minds in the world right now, Ludi Bukac. In the corner now, Kovin, number 31 for the Soviet Union. Kovin's the centerman on this line that comes from Gorky in the Soviet Union, the automobile manufacturing city about 300 miles from Moscow. Kovin along with Skvortsov and Varnakov out there. Puck is cleared down into the Soviet zone. Pervukin is going back down to get it, and as he touches it, icing is called. Face-off again in Czechoslovakian territory. No score in the game. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. A reminder, this program is broadcast under rights granted by Hockey Canada and the NHL Players Association. It's protected by copyright and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or reuse of this program without the express written permission of the CTV television network and TV Labatt is forbidden. No score in the game. 6 minutes, 9 seconds gone in the first period. Only 2 shots so far, Darrell. I guess that shouldn't surprise you. These teams very close checking at this particular moment, and the shots are even at 1.
They like to pass the puck rather than they like to shoot. In our North American style game, we seem to shoot a lot more from bad angles, but the Europeans wait for the good opportunity and try to put it away.
Well, we've got a little bit of bad temper in the face-off circle right there. That's Peter Klima, the youngster from Czechoslovakia, who's been chased out of the circle, kind of came in there. It was a quick shot that Hasek handled. It would have missed the net anyway. Around the boards, and Horsheva took an elbow as he went around the boards from Kovin. Here's a shot that's knocked down in front of the net. And out at center ice once again. Klima pokes it free now. Down into the zone it comes. Also down there for Czechoslovakia is Rosol. Klima gets it, digs it out, cuts it in front of the net, but he is not going to get much room. Tied up completely on the play by both Pervukin and Bilялетdinov, the veteran defensive pair. Now here they come again. Kamash over the line, clears to the far side. The shot right on the rebound. Kamash trying to flip it behind Mышkin, and he just didn't have any angle at all. Goes against the boards now and is flipped back out to center ice. Kodletz back inside his own zone. A rink-wide pass picked up by Rosol. This young line buzzing around a little bit. Horsheva back inside his zone. Horsheva coming out, a pass for Rosol. He just relays it in and heads for the bench. Bilялетdinov back inside his own zone. Ahead now at center ice for Gimaev. Semenov over the line now. They flip it in front. Oh, what a play and what a save. Hasek going down, but that was batted out of midair. Over the line they come again, and thrown to the ice is Yerzy Lala. The fans think there should be a penalty there. At center ice, the pass. Svetlov over the line, stops, gets set, shoots. It's blocked at the defense. It's loose in front of the net, and it's cleared away by Edward Ubira. At center ice, Czechoslovakia coming up. Zalder unable to get free, back inside their own zone. Now the Soviets will try to organize. Great tempo to this hockey game. Ubira trying to get it ahead for Zalder. Zalder is checked as he tried to hit the line by Kasatonov. Cleared around the boards once again. After it in there is Ruzicka. Tapped to the side of the net. Lalo's in there for checking, but the puck is cleared to center ice. A race for it now. After it is Yashin. He gets in over the line. Clears it to the side of the net, but Musial is there. And Musial, he starts out. Musial at center ice over the line for Liba. Now Liba trying to cut around that defense, looking for a man in front, and he's just chased back into the corner. There's the quick shot, and it is blocked at the defense by Kasatonov. Out in front and rolled free, but Ruzicka was going the wrong way. In the corner now, and hauled down is Liba, and that's going to get the first penalty of the hockey game. So the Soviets will get the first penalty, and the first power play in this hockey game is heading for the penalty bench is Gusarov.
You see the Russian player grab a hold of him. The Czechoslovakian player tried to come out of the corner, Liba, and he was pulled down. Ron Wicks has let a little bit go earlier in the game. He finally did see one and called one.
Gusarov. Last year he played with the Leningrad Army, but he's been moved over to the Central Army now in Moscow.
The power plays are an important part of a series such as this. If you can get your power play going and scoring, you're not going to get that many scoring chances, I don't think, when you're playing regular or even shifts. But when you get a power play, if you get a few good chances, you can put one away. It sure makes a difference.
Well, here we have the line now. Svozil, who will take the face-off. Lukats on the right side, and Liba. And there you see Viktor Tiyunov of the Soviet Union.
The Soviets like to press a lot when they're killing penalties. They do not force you to they force you to make a pass. They do not let you set up and shoot the puck from the blue line. They come right at you, making you pass it or shoot it really when you don't want to.
You know, we were talking to Ludi Bukac yesterday, both Darrell and myself, and one thing he said is he doesn't have a power play alignment. It's just the rotation, whoever happens to be there. But here's Karutov, or Makarov rather, breaking out, and then he forces it back again. Now they'll try and kill off as much of this, and they don't think twice about skating back with the puck, working it back into their own zone. All of it is puck control. Musil, the big fella behind his own net. Starting out now at center ice, it's Lukats. Lukats ducking past the checks. Musil knocked Krutov down. Here's Lukats. Good play against the boards, trying to beat it back, and it's flipped out to center ice past Musil. Way out of his net comes Hasek. He covers it up and holds it to a face-off.
Well, Hasek, he's a good young goalie. They're counting on him for many years to come. He's only 19 years of age. He was the best player in Europe in 1984. And like you said earlier, he beat the Russian team the last time they played him 7-2. So he's got a lot of confidence going for him tonight.
Well, he comes from Tesla Pardubice in Czechoslovakia. That's his home team. His coach told us that he reminds him a lot of Glenn Hall.
He's got very quick reflexes. He goes down the butterfly style a little bit. He was drafted by Chicago Blackhawks last year.
Well, just inside the line now. Lala trying to get loose here. Kodlet's at center ice. Salder's over the line. Drops it over now. Ruzicka feeding it back. Horshev at the blue line. The shot deflected wide and off the pad of Mышkin. In against the boards, and it's flipped out to center ice once again. And Kodlet's back inside his own zone to Horshev on this side. He's number 4. Horshev working with Kodlet's. Now to Liba. Along the boards for Salder. Salder had to go off his leg. He gets control of it again. Works it out to center ice. Czechoslovakia with Lala to the line now. 45 seconds left in the power play. They're around the boards on this side. Kodlet's gets it against the boards for Horshev. He's got a track to the net. Clears it in front. And they just didn't get the shot away. Sometimes you wonder if there's the extra play made sometimes. But over the line now, trying to get set on the short side. Getting a shot away was Makarov. And it's held by Hasek, and we'll have a face-off in the Czechoslovakian zone with 26 seconds left in the power play.
That happens quite often in international hockey, where a player has a good chance to, and a good opportunity to shoot the puck. He looks around, he elects to pass. Where in our game over here, we tend to shoot it more, go for screens, rebounds, and scrambles in front of the net.
Well, Makarov with that chance right at the side of the net, but he had no angle to shoot at all. Hasek only had to hold the post on it. Well, here they come again. Out to center ice comes Czechoslovakia with Rosol carrying the puck to Klima. Klima over the line now. Klima trying to duck past the Czech, and he's stopped on the play, and it's cleared away for the Soviet Union by Mikhail Varnakov. And the penalty just about to expire now as inside the Czechoslovakian zone. Out to the blue line, Starikov feeding it back to the blue line now. His own for Stelnov. He shoots it right back into Czechoslovakian territory. Hasek into the corner. Taking it out there is for Czechoslovakia, Staviana. In against the boards now. Tomish out to center ice. Rosol trying to get it to Klima. He does. Klima then tied up completely. See the close checking here. Tomish out to center ice. It comes again. Varnakov. Far side now. Skvortsov tried to get it in, and it hopped over the glass, and we'll have a face-off. 8:53 left in the first period. No score. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Well, there's a rather interested spectator. Hand perched on his chin. It's Wayne Gretzky, leading scorer in this tournament already.
I would imagine most of the Team Canada players are here tonight. They want to take a look and see what's out here and see what they're up against in the next few games.
The kindly coach is up here on the broadcast level, scouting this game. two teams, he's going to have... Puck is cleared back in over the line, knocked out of midair by Pierwukhin, and with the high stick, it'll be brought back out over the blue line for a face-off. And a reminder, during our first intermission of tonight's game, Sam Pollock will be joining us, chairman of the Olympic Committee for Hockey Canada. We'll be looking back at the very first Canada Cup ever. Eddie Westfall and Bernie, of course, will have highlights of this first period. So far, no scoring in the game. But some excellent hockey being played by these two teams, and very close checking hockey. Svozil clearing it in over the line now, and it's flipped right back out to center ice. Baynak knocked it out of midair. Soviets control now. Over the line they come. It's Shepelev trying to clear it in front of the net. Vasiliev was there, at least tried to get in front. Shepelev along the boards again. Cleared in past Kojevnikov inside the zone. Big Musil. Kojevnikov had it stolen from him. Pierwukhin then got caught. Here's a race for the puck, and way out of his net to clear it away is Mышkin. He gets it out to center ice once again. Svozil's along the board. Shepelev cutting back inside his own zone now. Shepelev at center ice, carrying it in over the line. Shepelev working to the corner, stops up now, ducks a check, throws it in front of the net, and it's loose in there. Finally, a shot that hit a leg. And Musil back behind his net, number 6. On the boards on this side, that's Pashek. Korbala way out to center ice. There's knocked down by Pierwukhin for the Soviet Union. Baynak to Pashek. Pashek put it right on the stick of Pierwukhin. Pierwukhin gets it again, but put it right on the stick of Korbala, and he's over the line now with Hrdina, but he clears it to the far side. Now Pashek, who wants to head for the bench, had second thoughts. Finally, he backhands it into the corner. He'll go for his rest now as the shift is completely changed. Svetlov cutting in front of his own net. He starts out now. Svetlov and players meet at center ice. Korbala knocks him down. Puck is still at center ice, and Hrdina, we're going to get a penalty called for tripping by referee Ron Wicks. Hrdina, I believe, is heading off with 6:59 remaining in the period.
Well, here it is here. The Soviet player's cutting on his skates. He looked like a little bit of an accident, but he went down. Ronnie Wicks had to call that. The Soviets do have a great power play. Watched them last Wednesday night here in Montreal. They scored 3 power play goals against Team Canada. They're very impressive. Their defensemen come into the middle of the ice. When they get in an area where it's shoot the puck, they let it go. They have 2 of their wingers coming out of the corners in front of the net to either tip it in or to screen the goalie. But they try to work that puck to the middle area of the ice.
All right, Darrell, but you're going to get a lesson in penalty killing, too. A different style of penalty killing from the Czechoslovakian team, who chase you. They do not fall into box. They don't fall into any accepted pattern. They will chase you and chase you and chase you. Try to force you to make the bad pass. And against the Soviets, which is designed to stop, it is simply a matter of trying to prevent them from making the big play. And here they have done it. Here's Calder going in. Gets that shot just wide. Calder. But watch them. They'll just keep chasing and keep chasing. Now look at them. They're on top of them. They're not fading back at all. They're trying to prevent the Soviets from making any kind of move inside the zone. Kasatonov over the line, forced the offside. They'll have a face-off outside the blue line.
Well, they do that very well. They've had success at killing penalties. That's one of the things Bukash wants them to do. Make them make passes when they do not want to. Here's a guy closing in on goal. He doesn't have a whole lot to shoot at. Misses the corner. I don't really think from where he shot he could have put it in from there.
Well, Calder, the team captain for Czechoslovakia, as you look at Mышkин, plays with Dynamo in the Soviet League. It's kind of the Central Army and the rest of the league, really. They went their whole season, the Army did, with a record of 43-1. They lost 1 game to the Leningrad Army team, 3-1. Ludi Bukats on the bench, you saw, kind of watching. Look at the far side of the form. They play kind of the lonely end there off the face-off. There you see him, and he gets the puck over the line. Krutov. There's it around the boards now. Larionov against the boards. There's their number 1 line out there. Larionov, Musil is in the middle of that scrum along the boards, and Kasatonov couldn't contain it. Now a rink-wide pass. Gusarov. And drops it off with Krutov. Kasatonov working it ahead. Clears it in past Larionov. Breaking in is Makarov, but it is touched and is called on the offside. 2-line pass, so it'll come back into the Soviet Union zone on the icing. And a face-off down there. As we look at Musil, the fellow in the dressing room in Czechoslovakia, they like to call Larry.
He's a big man, and I guess he's the type of guy, he's got lots of character to him. He's always kidding around and joking, and like Larry Robinson for Team Canada, and that's his nickname over here in Canada.
It's his nickname in Czechoslovakia, too, Larry. Compliment for Larry Robinson. And against the boards now, Larionov. He's a pretty good hockey player, too, Musil. Well, he's trying to live up to some pretty high standards. Here's Krutov. Krutov now fading to the far boards, clears it around the boards on this side. Larionov trying to dig it loose, but he's checked and it's cleared out over the blue line. It hit Leon Stickel, the linesman. Makarov, Kasatonov. Kasatonov feeding it ahead now, right past the outstretched stick there. Codlet's behind the net. Cleared away again, near the line. Moving in, trying to keep it in there is Gusarov. Gusarov, Kasatonov on this side. Here's his shot. Men in front of the net, but they just couldn't reach it as Makarov was in there. Makarov ducking away from a check now. Back out to Kasatonov. Here's the shot. Hit the side of the net. Makarov again. They start to buzz around a little bit. 13 seconds left in the power play. Krutov trying to get set. Gets it in front. Larionov. And he can't get the shot away. Hasek did the work there. And it winds up in the corner. Again. Makarov, but he can't control it this time under the checking, and it slips out near the line. The penalty is over. Puck is cleared in front of the net, and it's cleared straight away. Out to center ice comes Radina. He just came out of the penalty box. Moving ahead, Horshava. Horshava, Hasek. And he's checked by Larionov, and it's back out to center ice. Great pass, Makarov over the line. Good move, and a shot. And it's a weak one steered behind the net by Hasek. Out comes Czechoslovakia now at center ice. Leading the rushes, Klima. Klima to the line. Starikov checking in, got by him. He's around the net, and he tried to roll it out in front, but his teammates were trying to complete a line change. Ubira hit the side of the net. Now at the side of the net, trying to work it behind the net there for Czechoslovakia's Tomash, and he threw it out into the slot, but there was nobody there, and out comes Skvortsov. Over the line he comes. Skvortsov in the corner. Skvortsov feeding it back into the corner. Now Starikov out in front, right into a crowd, and it wound up just bouncing right back towards the corner. Out for Czechoslovakia, Ubira. Ubira forced in against the boards, took a good bump in there by Kovin. Kovin digs it out, taps it back to his own defense. Starikov then stopped. Klima, Skvortsov against the boards. He stopped on the play. Kovin's there. Kovin backhanding it against the boards, and Ubira. Ubira feeding it off the boards at center ice. It's Starikov turning with it again, and he feeds it to the line, but he shot that one high, and it may have knocked down with a high stick. We'll have a face-off. Still no score in this game. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Pass. We're going to have a look at the missed pass. There's Larionov standing in front. Again, the puck is rolling or bouncing. He couldn't control it. Hash come out on him, forced him to shoot it maybe a little quicker than he could get a stick on it.
He'd had a chance to one time that he'd had it in the net, but by bobbling it a little bit, it allowed goaltender Hasek to get in front, or get in front of a potential shot. The ice maybe a problem this time of the year. Jam in the corner again. Along the boards, Bilялетdinov, here's his shot, deflected it. Hasek didn't see that. Here's the rebound. And that one was blocked by Hasek, so he alertly stayed on his feet. The key to that one, Darryl.
Well, I don't think he didn't see that shot at all, and hit him on the toe. He was a little bit lucky there, but when the rebound did come out, he was ready to key right on the fellow with the rebound. Here he is. Here he gets quickly back up onto his feet and makes a good save. He's impressed me.
Well, Shevnikov getting the second shot, but yeah, you're right. He stayed right on his feet, and you've got to be in position. Start going down, and you wind up in all kinds of grief. There he is, Dominik Hasek. National junior team at the age of 15. Tremendous talent. They've had good goaltending in Czechoslovakia over the years. Who will ever forget Vladimir Zarilla in the 1976 Canada Cup. Yuri Holacek, who also played in that series and considered a great goaltender for Czechoslovakia. Now breaking in over the line for Czechoslovakia. Svozil back out to the blue line. Horshava feeding it to the side of the net now. Liba, Horshava hit the high glass here at the Forum and is backhanded down into the skates of Liba, who digs it out. There was a high stick on that, but it was the Soviets. Now they try to force it over the line. That time it's batted out of midair, but the Soviets again come up with it. Back down over the line for the Soviet Union. It's Kojevnikov. He backhands it to the side of the net. It's poked away. In against the boards now. Svozil and Liba, and also moving in there is Horshava, and it's called. We'll have another face-off as they shove against the boards. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Face off deep inside the Czechoslovakian zone, actually the top rim of the circle. Semenov, this young line with Svetlov. Svetlov trying to work the puck free. Semenov's in there as well. It winds up in the corner. Semenov. He is checked out of the way by Ovira. On the boards on the far side now. Contact in there. Lala's in there. Ovira's in there. And it comes to Hasek, and he reaches out and covers it up himself and holds it for a face-off. A little extracurricular stuff going on in against the boards there. As involved in that was Stabiana, number 16 for the Soviets.
Well, in such a high-tempo game such as this, you're going to get the emotions and the tempers up a little bit, and you saw a little bit of it there.
Semenov, Yashin, and Svetlov, they're all from Moscow Dynamo. They brought units with them. Something that, of course, Glenn Sather tried to do as much as possible. They were his Edmonton players. Lala shooting it in from a long way out, gets that long rebound himself, takes it into the corner behind the net now. Try to cut somebody. Ovira moving in from the point, try to move into position to get a pass. Now it's cleared past Ovira out to center ice. Semenov goes down. No penalty on the play. Laviana, Lala put it through the skates of Ruzicka. Soviet Union regrouping deep in their own zone. Gusarov feeding it out to center ice. Again, there's just very little room out there. Cleared out to the blue line. Moving in is Kasatonov. His shot deflected right in on Hasek. He just got the blocker up on that one. And it's in against the boards once again. Ruzicka digs it loose. Clears it, but not out. Soviet Union keeping it in. Little contact in there. Good collision. May have been an elbow as well. A high stick is what the penalty is going to be. And heading for the penalty bench will be Ruzicka. Is he the only one, or are there two of them going?
Ruzicka's a big, strong centerman there. He does get his elbow a little high there, knocking the Soviet down. But Ruzicka, he was a draft pick by the Toronto Maple Leafs, second-round pick in the 1983 draft.
So Ruzicka's in there. That was the same draft, by the way, that the Leafs drafted Peter Inachak, who served them well. And he goes off with 1:20 remaining in the period. There's Ludi Bukats.
Well, you don't want to be giving the Soviets too many power plays because, as I said earlier, they do have a good power play, and it's tough. Once they get a lead on you, it's tough to come back. So,
well, they've got their top line out there now. Larionov, Bilyaletdinov on the point, along with the fellow who's now acting as captain for the Soviet Union, Kasatonov. Of course, their captain is the great Fetisov. Kasatonov with Fetisov hurt, broken leg. And so he has taken over that role. Out they come now with less than a minute remaining in the period. Larionov gets it over for Krutov. Krutov over the line now. Krutov clearing it in front, but it's behind Larionov. Makarov is there. Makarov back out to the blue line. Bilyaletdinov the shot. Right on. Rebound. Loose puck in front. Skating right past it was Larionov, and he's covered, and the puck is cleared down the ice. Kasatonov will go back to get it from Mышkin. Kasatonov wheeling behind his net and starting out. Krutov picking up on the left side, but he is checked again. You see that chasing tactic. Liba made the check on Kasatonov. He recovered, got it in over the line. They clear it in front. Goes right past Makarov. Makarov against the boards on the far side. Liba digs it out. Now after it in there is Kodlets. Kodlets goes to his knees, gets up, then put it off Musil's stick. Now Kasatonov in now, rolls it in front. Larionov. Oh, look at that save. Hasek reached back, going against the floor, made the save of the game.
He's had an outstanding period. Rudy Bukat said he is a quick goaltender. You see the reflexes here. He's down off to the other side. He gets his glove out and makes a great save.
You see it change direction on it.
That pass was intended for Makarov on the side of the net there. It was hit by the Czechoslovakian skate and deflected out, and he came up with a big save.
Dominik Hasek rolls into him now, dying seconds of the first period. No score in the game from behind the net now. Horshova just working it, cruising. That'll be the period. Well, they'll skate to the dressing room in a 0-0 tie. The Soviet Union outshot Czechoslovakia by a 12-4 margin. And weren't able to put it past Hasek, who was probably the star of the period.
He sure was, and that's the type of goaltending you're going to need to win a Canada Cup. In '76, we had it with Rogi Vachon. 81, Tretiak played very well, and that's the type of goaltending that you need if you're going to win the tournament.
All right, no score after 20 minutes of play here at the Montreal Forum between Czechoslovakia and Canada. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
John Turner.
As he has now become #1 in the Soviet Union, the goaltender to replace Vladislav Tretiak, who, by the way, is not here and has not made the trip. And there you see Hasek, who is 19 years of age and has just been brilliant, as was mentioned by Eddie Westfall during the intermission. Darrell, I'm sure you've been impressed as well.
Very impressed. And the Czechoslovakian team, they do have a lot of young players. Musil's only 19. They have the young line of Klima, Kamish, and Rosal. They're 20 years old. They impressed me a little bit in the period. They forechecked a little bit, had a few good scoring chances. I think you're going to see a lot of them in this tournament.
All right, we're about set to go here in the second period as the Soviet Union will have a power play for 20 minutes. And there's the fellow who's in there, Ruzicka, for high sticking, Ruzicka. And they have their big boys out there once again, Krutov, Makarov, and the line centered by Larionov.
These fellows have been together for 4 years, and that's one of the advantages the Soviets and the Czechs have, that they can take units and put them together. They play together for a long period of time, and they really get to know each other's moves.
Yeah, Krutov comes off the left wing and cuts across to his off wing and comes in over the line. What's an off wing when everybody shoots left, right? Behind the net now. Krutov now picks up the puck once again. Past Makarov. Kazantonov, the captain, moves in. Cleared to Krutov. Back out in front. Makarov. Shot. Blocked. Rebound. He tries to get set. Rolls it through. They score. It was tapped in by Krutov as the defense got caught completely off balance, and for one of the rare times in this hockey game, they were running around a little bit.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot Hasek could do. Here's a perfect shot. It was blocked. The defenseman went down. He could not get up. Hasek maybe went down a little early. Passed the puck out. Makarov made a nice pass out. Krutov had the empty net to shoot it out. Here's Makarov taking a little look. I think he's going to try to dump it in on his backhand, but he sees Krutov out in front. No trouble putting that one in.
22 seconds of the period. By the way, the statistical information for the Canada Cup supplied by Hewlett-Packard Computers. Doing a great job for us. And now Czechoslovakia forced to come from behind. They are down 1-0 here. Power play goal. It is Lala back into his own zone. Czechoslovakia with Lala getting the return pass from Edward Ubera. And there's a giveaway inside the blue line. Semenov trying to get set, but he is stopped on the play. It's tapped back near the line. Lala makes the check along the boards, but the loose puck slides out to Bilyaletdinov. And back in over the line now. Yashin getting set out in front of the net. Now Svetlov band on it. And it's cleared back out to center ice. Pervukin back into his own zone now. Behind his own net and starting out for the Soviet Union. He cleared it right up the middle, and there was nobody there. Musil back along the boards. Liba just sent it back deep in his own zone as Czechoslovakia will try to regroup. Musil. Benak on this side. And against the boards by Varnakov. And it finally pops free. Liba's got it. Liba. And that was intercepted. Now it's tapped out near the line, but Kovin keeps it in. Kovin trying to work it in front of the net, and he had a man, Skvortsov, alone in front of the net. Here's Pervukin, ducking around the defense, around Liba. Around behind the net he goes. Pervukin tied up by Liba, does a good job on him. The puck rolls loose, still inside the zone, and finally it's tapped out to center ice. Liba racing after it. He can fly, but he couldn't get to the puck before it was cleared away by Bilyaletdinov. Here's a quick shot by Svozil. Liba against the boards. Bilyaletdinov. Along the boards, Skvortsov, Kovin. Kovin just deflected it down into Czechoslovakian territory. And back to get it, Kotlets. On this side, Horshova. Ahead, Kotlets at center ice. Kotlets ahead. Klima, Peter Klima over the line now, along with Kamish. Takes the shot, it's gloved. And holding on for the faceoff is Moishkin. 1-0 Soviets. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Face-off deep in the Soviet end. Czechoslovakia trailing 1-0 here. Kamish goes into the corner with the puck. Backhands it out in front. Bouncing puck. Rosol couldn't knock it down. Out they come once again. Gimaev at center ice. Rosol checking on him, but it's fed into the Czechoslovakian end now. Horshova around the boards, puts it right on the stick of a Soviet player, but Horshova covers up and he brings it out to center ice on a 3-on-1 now. Horshova over the line with Klima. Klima gets the pass, rolls it in there, loose puck. Oh, he fanned on it. All alone in front with an open net, and he fanned on it. The Soviets take the pressure off by clearing it down the ice. Kodlitz will touch it. Oh, you couldn't ask for a better chance.
Well, there was a case that the Soviets got caught. Not too many times they get caught on a 3-on-1. The defenseman is hooking the Czech player. He makes a perfect pass through the defenseman. Here, rebound comes out. Again, a little bit of a rolling, bouncing puck. We've seen that happen a little earlier in the hockey game. I had an empty net there to shoot at.
So, Czechoslovakia trailing by a goal. They missed a golden opportunity. Face off deep in the Soviet end once again. And from the face-off, out come the Soviets this time as Makarov's out there. Krutov right behind him. Makarov trying to work around the defense. Goes to backhand the shot. The rebound's loose in front. Krutov fighting off a check, but he was unable to get a shot away as he was tied up finally by Korbalov, who's got the puck behind the net. Korbalov. He's checked in against the boards, and it's held in there. Krutov in there. The face-off will be deep in the Czechoslovakian zone. You've been on the ice against Krutov, of course, Darryl. How have you found him as a competitor?
Well, he's just a short little player, you know. They call him the fire plug or fire hydrant. He's that type of a player. He's a dedicated guy. He works hard. You find from playing against these type of players, they frustrate you a little bit. They play a little chippy, and they're strong on their feet. You try to knock them. You think because they're smaller, you can knock them down, but they're very strong, and they do frustrate you.
Now behind the net is Pashek. Dusan Pashek on the boards. Uvira clears it to Kasatonov right at the point. It's relayed right back in there by Larionov. Now trying to work his way around the net is Stabiana. Stabiana, good lead pass out to center ice now, down over the line. For Czechoslovakia is Radina, and Larionov back there to make the check himself. Out in front of the net, what a chance again. Pashek that time. Stabiana out in center ice, but he couldn't hold the puck, and Krutov goes after it. Now Makarov, he's tied up. Pashek's there. Larionov circling with the puck now. Tries to throw it into the slot. Makarov into the corner. Out for Gusarov. And he is stopped on the play. Stabiana sliding to block that one, and it slid all the way to center ice. Back in comes Kasatonov, but he's offside on the play. Krutov was still inside the zone. We'll have a face-off outside the Czechoslovakian blue line. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
The general manager of the New York Islanders sitting right next to me here at the hockey game, Bill Torrey. And Bill, any particular player from either team that has impressed you so far in the hockey game?
Well, there's a lot of great talent out there tonight, Eddie, but one fellow in particular, the captain of the Russian team, their fine defenseman, Alexei Kasatonov has played outstandingly well. He made a great play on their goal, and he's a really solid, sound player.
Thank you, Bill Torrey.
And this is Ron Rouge along with Darryl Sittler. Had a good chance there by Stalder right in front of the net. Kind of hopped over a check and got a shot away. Yashin now for the Soviet Union, one of those young players. Down over the line now, trying to work it in front is Svetlov. Svetlov out in front. First puck, they shot it just wide. Great chance there for Yashin, number 25. Now, still inside the zone as Svetlov feeds it back towards the Czechoslovakian goal. Musil is there. Back out to center ice. Bilялетдинов. Yashin tried to reel it in. It's fed ahead, though. And over the line, good move there. Gets set, shot it just wide. Great effort there by Ruzicka. Losing his stick on the play is Stalder. Semenov at center ice. Semenov to the line. His shot is deflected up into the crowd, and we'll have a face-off outside the Czechoslovakian blue line. As you look there at one of the young players for the Soviet Union, Anatoly Semenov, who's from Dynamo. And Semenov is one of three players that they brought up from that Dynamo team, along with Svetlov and Yashin, as a line. Very young, just breaking in this tournament. Back out at center ice, Varnakov. Stelnov. Stelnov takes a check, got the pass away, but Kodlitz intercepted it and fed it right back in again. Back to get it is Starikov. Starikov clearing it around the boards. Czechoslovakia with Kodlitz at the blue line now trying to feed it into Skvorzel, and Skvorzel couldn't see the pass coming, first of all. Now he's got it in the corner. Also in there with him is Liba. And back out comes the Soviet Union. Skvortsov ahead. Kovin didn't get that pass. Back out at center ice again, and Varnakov. Varnakov checked off the puck by Kotlets. Varnakov again feeds it in, but there was a man trapped there. That was Skvortsov. And the face-off outside the Czechoslovakian line once again. So there's Skvortsov, part of that line, and again it's a unit brought up. In the case of that line, a veteran line from Gorky, the automobile manufacturing town outside Moscow.
Good little young player.
So we're set with a face-off. John D'Amico drops the puck. Kamesh anticipated that one beautifully, and here's Rosil going in. Rosil clears it in front. He showed a lot of hustle in that play as he got it in front for Peter Klima, who just couldn't convert it. Now the Soviets back once again as it's cleared ahead. Shepelov couldn't reach that pass. Back inside his own blue line is Kasatonov again, the one that Bill Torrey likes so well. Here's Shepelov. Shepelov over the line now. Against the boards, Kojevnikov as well, but coming in to help out and take the puck out of harm's way is Kamesh, and he's back behind his own net now. Kamesh starting out for Czechoslovakia. Kamesh ahead for Staviana. Yimaev knocked that one down, takes the puck to the line, couldn't get free of Klima, and out at center ice, Uvira. Rosol. There's it back in over the line, but Rosol gets it again at center ice. Knocked the stick right out of the hand of Shepelov as he tried to get free with it. Now Kojevnikov. Yimaev down around the net, trying to come out and jam it in. A loose puck at the side of the net. Kojevnikov took a whack at it, carrying it into the corner for the Soviet Union is Shepelev, and he cleared it down the ice. Now back to get it is Kasatonov. Here he comes, newly named captain of this team. He will be captain for as long as Fetisov is out with his injury. Bainok bringing it in now, clears it behind the net for Czechoslovakia. Long time between whistles here as it's cleared out to center ice, and Bainok will go back for it. Bainok inside his own blue line. At center ice, there's Kodlets. Kodlets over the line, offside, and the face-off outside the Soviet blue line, 1-0. The Soviets lead this hockey game, as you see there, Kasatonov.
Kasatonov, he's a little overshadowed, I think, by Fetisov. He's a great hockey player. In the past Olympics in '84, believe it or not, he wasn't on for any goals against throughout the whole series. He's only 25 years old, and the Jersey Devils drafted him. Maybe they're going to try to get him out of Russia. Who knows? They could use him.
Good luck to them, yeah. Well, there will be a day, I would imagine, when a Soviet player will come to North America to play, but that day is not upon us yet. There's the center ice. Korbula, Redina. Krutov in there doing a job of checking against the boards. Makarov, he took a bump from Bainok, but Larionov's over the line, plays the puck up onto his stick from his skates. Musil checked him. Down the boards, there's Krutov again. Back out to the blue line. The shot is knocked down in front of the net. And out to center ice, Kodlets beating it ahead now. Redina over the line. Redina with Korbula. Redina still with that puck, doing a freelance job with it in there, but he's being checked by Pervukin. And now Larionov. Hasek's got the puck out in front. Nobody there. Bainok near the blue line. Backhanding it in, past Pervukin. He'll chase it into the corner now. Along the boards, Krutov, Larionov, over to the far side from Makarov to Larionov. Larionov over the blue line. Krutov trailing on the play. Krutov's got the puck. He overskated it. Makarov moves in. But the puck is poked away, and Redina's got it. Redina around the net. Starts out at the blue line. Knocked down just as he hit his own line. Larionov comes back with the puck and shoots it into the corner where Krutov is. Boy, he's been around the puck a lot in this hockey game, Krutov. And the puck is golfed down the ice by the big fellow, František Musil. And back to get it is Pervukin. 1-0, Soviets lead. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Face-off will be to the left of young Dominik Hasek. To his left inside the Czechoslovakian zone. And it comes back to Hasek. He just leaves it for Kodlets. Kodlets has knocked off the puck. Roll it in front. It's loose there, but it's taken away by Kodlets. Out at center ice for Czechoslovakia, Ruzicka. He had to fade back a little bit. Now gives it to Kodlets on this side, who had trouble controlling it against the forechecking of Yashin. Back to Stelnov. Stelnov, Starikov on the far side, backhanding it ahead. Lala's over there, number 20 for Czechoslovakia, but it rolls back to Horshova. Horshova Ahead for Lala. Lala over the line. He comes. Lala's got great speed and a tremendous shot. Lala over the line, but he can't get free in front of that net as he was checked pretty closely. There's a hit inside the Soviet zone by Ruzicka, but it's Yashin who's got the puck down. Yashin hits the line. Yashin tried to stick handle his way through the defense. Fails to do so. Lala out of center ice now. Ruzicka tied up at the blue line. It was a question of who was tying up whom, but in any case, Mышkин came out, covered it up, and holds for the face-off with 10:20 remaining here in the second period, and the Soviet Union leading Czechoslovakia 1-0.
Ruzicka was holding the defenseman Starikov, hoping that his left winger would get free and pick up that puck, but the puck did rebound off the board. It's a little out farther than he expected it to come, and the goalie came out, Mышkин came out and smothered it.
You see, Ruzicka comes from Litvinov, which is a shoe manufacturing town in Czechoslovakia. The lion's share of the players on the Czechoslovakian team come from Jihlava, which is a town in southeast Czechoslovakia in the Moravian area, as we've got a problem with the ice. They are the defending Czechoslovakian National League champions. They're an army team, Dukla Jihlava, and while they're repairing the ice, we're going to take a bit of a break here. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. From the face-off, puck just outside the blue line. The Soviets on the attack now. Skvortsov hits the line, but he's chased out of there. Defense double-teamed him as he hit the line. Czechoslovakia takes over now. Sabozil, he just taps it out to center ice. Lukat's giving chase, but it's tapped away by Gusarov. Liba's over the line. Liba takes a good bump from Kovin as he tried to get set. Good hit in mid-ice, and the puck is cleared down over the line. Varnakov took a hit as he crossed the line from Uvira. Now Kovin in against the boards. He takes a hit. That's 3 hits right there. There's another one as Varnakov is knocked up against the boards. Out of center ice it comes. Turning is Kasatonov. He clears to the far side. Uvira's there. Puck is inside the line for Kovin. Moving up is Varnakov. Can't get the puck to him. Now in against the boards. Picking it up for the Soviet Union is Skvortsov behind the net, but he is checked. Stopping back there is Liba. Liba feeding a straight up ice. At center ice for Czechoslovakia now, Sabozil. Lukats hits the line. He's knocked away from the puck by Gusarov. Kasatonov inside the zone now. He's knocked down, but the puck comes out to center ice for Czechoslovakia. Yaroslav Benak. Benak swinging back inside his zone. Lost the puck. Shepelov trying to get set, and he just reached back and knocked him off. Balanced it up to prevent further play towards the net. Now Klima makes the check, and the puck comes to Benak behind the net. Out on the wing for Rosol. Rosol at center ice, working to the line, shoots it into the corner, gives chase himself. Coming back to get it is Pervukin for the Soviet Union. Now behind the net, Bilялетдинов. Ahead, Gusarov. Ahead for Kojevnikov at center ice, but that was broken up there by Benak once again, who's had a good shift. Center ice. Kojevnikov, checked by Musil. Benak then goes in against the boards, but the loose puck comes to Gimaev. Gimaev knocked down against the boards by Musil. Along the boards, Pervukin, but it's cleared right to Kamesh. Kamesh at center ice with Rosil and Klima. His shot! Whoa, the save! Mышkин reaching out. It was a shot that came off the stick handle. And it's a dangerous shot. Mышkин was ready for it.
Well, here's Kamesh. He's the good young player we were talking about earlier. He uses the defenseman as a screen. He lets the shot go. Mышkin's out on the top of the crease, makes a nice glove save.
Well, there you see Mышkin from the Dynamo.
Czechoslovakia hasn't had a whole lot of good chances, and when they do get one, they got to put one away here soon.
There haven't been a whole lot of chances in this period. Looking back, the total shots on goal for the period, 4-2 favor Czechoslovakia. After the Soviets had a 12-4 margin in the first period and came away with no goals, they've kind of settled back with the goal they scored at the 22-second mark of the second period here. This is Larionov. There's a shot that deflects up over the glass behind young Dominik Hasek. Face-off will be almost directly in front of the Czechoslovakian goal, about 20 feet inside the blue line. 7:54 remaining in the second period. Soviet Union 1, Czechoslovakia nothing. Well, Larionov out there with Krutov and Makarov, and there you see, Darrell, just the advantage of playing together day in, day out, all the time in their club team and also with their national team. Here's Starikov. Hasek gets it as Starikov mishandled it right at the blue line. Czechoslovakia now has Kadlec. Kadlec through center ice, and it's just deflected away from Korbalov. Starikov ahead. Makarov. Now to Krutov. Krutov over the line. Great speed. Stops in front of the net now. Got the mobility. Larionov. And he shot it in there. And it got right past the defenseman Kodlets as he was sprawling. Last time he sprawled in front of a shot, it led to a goal. He got himself out of position. Here's Larionov again with that great mobility. Gets the second chance at it and gives it to Makarov. Cleared off the boards and down the ice. And Mышkin will stop it out in front of his crease. Back to get it is Stelnov. Stelnov to Makarov at center ice now, ducking away from the check of Ruzicka. Makarov, but he's checked against the boards by Czechoslovakia's Vladimir Salder. Deep in his own zone is Ubera. Ubera into the corner. Along the boards, Lala chopping it free now at full flight in center ice is Salder. He hits the line and he overskated the puck as he hit the line. He put himself offside. 1-0 Soviets lead. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. There you see Lala from Motocheski Budjovice.
Boy, he's got lots of speed and he's got an excellent shot.
And here's Eddie Westfall.
Thank you, Ron. Lala, as I look at his stick, he's got great speed you talk about. He's got a tremendous shot. His stick, you know, in the National Hockey League, they have a rule, a half-inch curvature. They have that in international hockey also, and his stick must be very close. I would guess right now that it's probably a little deeper than a half an inch.
Well, I was down in the dressing room area, Eddie, and they are very conscious of it. They were measuring things. Whether they let a couple of them get by them or not, we don't know, but they have been checked on these things before. They'll be very careful when they play Canada, I can guarantee you, because Canada has been known to measure them and demand a measurement. Out comes the Soviet Union now at center ice. Kovin over the line. Svetlov couldn't get that fast. Pervukin's got it at center ice now. Pervukin to the line. Svetlov shooting it in. Behind the net, moving in through the traffic. Ubera just wrists it out to Lala. Lala out at center ice. Now we've got a 2-on-1. Ubera over the line. Ubera trying to beat it back into the slot. But just skating away from the play was Ruzicka. The Soviet Union with Pervukin. Svetlov back in his zone, just cruising with it. Leads it straight up ice and down into the Czechoslovakian zone, and Musil's got it again. Musil to Liba. Liba ahead, just cleared it right behind everybody. Svozil didn't reach the pass at all, and it is touched by Bilyaletdinov, and the icing is called. 5:39 remaining in the period.
Eddie talked about the big curved sticks. I think there's an unwritten rule between the Russians and the Czechs that they just allow each other to use the size of curve they want, but they know when they're playing a National Hockey League team or Team Canada that we're conscious of that, and we're going to maybe check them. We've done it before and taken a number of penalties. I know from talking to Scotty Morrison the other day, he said that they were concerned about it. He wanted them down in the dressing room looking at their sticks for when they play Team Canada, that they do have legal sticks.
I can remember a game you played against them, Darrell, against the Soviet national team in Philadelphia. Measured the sticks a couple of times.
Didn't help us any. Got them mad.
Got them mad, yeah. Open. Varnakov trying to get it out in front. And out to center ice. Rozil for Czechoslovakia. Cleared it right past Leba. Now Banak. He's checked by Kovin. Out of his net is Hasek. Hasek's given up just the one goal. Hasn't been under the pressure he faced in the first period. Varnakov around the net. Out to Bilyaletdinov. His shot deflects just wide. Loose off the backboards. And Leba collects it. Leba at center ice now. Breaking down over the line with Svozil. Leba. Lukacs moves in front of the net. Svozil's there as well. Back out to the blue line. Kodlets couldn't hold it. He'll have to fade back now. Musil's with him, and Musil gets the drop pass. Skvortsov moving into forecheck. They'll move it up along the boards now. Rosol. Oshevnikov checking on him. Klima to the line now. Klima ducking around the defense. Handles the puck well. Clears it out in the slot. Klima trying to get a shot away. Kamesh is there. He goes into the corner. Bilyaletdinov. He goes down with the puck underneath him. Kamesh is there. Finally, he just reaches back and covers it up. And holds it for a face-off. So 4:20 remaining in the second period. 1-0 Soviets. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. 4:20 remaining in the second period. The Soviet Union leading 1-0. Krutov goal. 22-second mark of the period. At the side of the net now. It's cleared behind the net. And now the Soviet Union breaking out of their zone with Gimaev, who doubles as both a forward. He's up on left wing in this game. Also can play defense for the Soviet Union. Rolls into Mышkin, and with some forechecking pressure there from Kamesh, he elects to hold on, and face-off will be deep in his zone.
In a tournament such as this, it's nice to have a player such as Gimiev where he can play both positions. With only being able to put 22 guys on your roster, if you do run into a couple injuries right at the beginning of the tournament, say a couple defensemen get hurt, and you only have 6 or 7 of them, you could run into trouble, especially when you're playing as many games in as few nights as they are throughout the tournament.
Saw a brief flash there of Ludi Bukac, the coach, the fine coach of this Czechoslovakian team, and Ludi's going to be a guest during our second intermission period with Bernie Pascal. Talk about this game, about the philosophies of Czechoslovakian hockey. I'll tell you, Ludi is one of the very fine coaches in the world. There he is. And as I said, he played some hockey, played with Derek Sanderson at Oklahoma City.
Yes, he
back
did.
when Derek was on his way up.
He's very friendly and willing to talk to you about anything you ask him about the hockey club. Unlike the Soviets, it's tough to find out any information about them. Ludi's pretty good. He's always got a smile on his face. I know Dvorak, who plays with us in Philadelphia, speaks highly of them.
And there's the contrast to that. Viktor Tiganov.
He's got the big smile, doesn't he?
He coached the 76 and 81 Canada Cup teams here. He came from Riga, where he was coaching in the Soviet First Division to take over the Soviet national team. Puck out in front there, and Shepelov tried to get the shot away and fanned on it. Puck out now near the blue line. And ahead now. Redina over the line now. Takes the shot. It was wide and weak along the boards. Oshevnikov. Oh, look at that collision. The big fella, Musil, and Staviana stepped right into Gimaev there. Is not a little guy in his own right. Larionov coming to the line. He's just flipped it right into the Czechoslovakian zone. Back to get it is Redina. Out near the line, Makarov tried to keep it in and hop through, but he just had it clear the line. He brought it in, put himself offside. Face-off will be outside the blue line. Got a chance to look at that check.
Throw it up the boards. He really didn't have anywhere to go, the Russian player.
And he was looking the wrong way, Darryl.
Looking the wrong way, just trying to get it out of his own end, out of trouble.
You see a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of mid-ice collisions. They don't wait till they get around the boards. They step right into you.
Well, they're used to that big ice surface over there in Europe, and it's tough to get a guy along the boards over there.
Now, here we go again. Baynock out at center ice, intercepted that pass. Bozil turning with it, leading to the boards. Now clears it to the wing. Lukacs is over the line. Steps, shot, wide of the net. Trying to set up the screen. Musil shot it in there again, and he's wide with it. Now along the boards. Check just in against the boards there for Czechoslovakia. Moving in on the play with Baynock. Behind the net. Lukacs, number 29 there, out to Musil. Musil couldn't keep it in. Baynock cuts across ice from his position on this side. Clears it back through center ice. It got right by Kasatonov. And swinging around with it is Lukacs. Leba, number 11. He can fly. To the line he comes. Stops up just inside the blue line. Now clears it in front. They were looking for the deflection there, and Svozil got his stick on it, but shot it wide. Leba. Larionov. He's hauled down. There'll be a penalty here. Well, Larionov is spun around by Leba. Down he goes, and Czechoslovakia can't afford to get penalties.
Ronnie Wicks was a little slow at calling it. I think that's why the crowd reacted to it. Sometimes the European players do tend to act a little bit more than we do in the National Hockey League. I know from playing against the Czechs and the Russians, there have been times when I've been on the ice and hooking them a little bit. They'll yell out a scream and fall down at the same time, get the ref's attention, and the next thing you know, you're in the penalty box frustrated.
Well, I've seen that in the National Hockey League. You had a teammate that was pretty good at that for a long time. Face-off, it's outside the blue line. I won't mention who. The one that played here in Montreal for a long time was pretty good at it, too.
2 minutes for a full stage at 17 minutes.
Out at center ice. Down over the line now comes Yashin. Team Canada with a night off tonight. Swetlov out near for Perbukin. Perbukin clearing it right back into the crowd in the corner. Yashin picking it up now. Yashin back to Perbukin. Perbukin over to the far side. They one-time it and a shot wide. Yashin goes in. Tries to chop it in front. Kodlet's got in the way of that. Into the corner on this side. Horshova, number 4. Off the boards. Moving in. Bilyaletdinov. Now cleared out to center ice, and Perbukin is right there. Perbukin, number 5. Very familiar figure for the Soviet Union. Back in his own zone now. Drops it off for Semenov. Semenov Through center ice once again. Ducks finds a hole. Now feeds it off on the wing for Svetlov. Svetlov to the side of the net. Yuri Lala's back there now, and he shoots it down the ice. And it's waved off. No. Of course, the power play on here with 58 seconds remaining. Bilялетдинов. 15-8, the total shots on goal in this game. In a typical European game, here's Makarov going to the backhand, and oh, good defensive move. It's getting back was Uvira. Uvira now checking on Makarov. He whacked him in against the boards. He'll pin it in there and hold it for a face-off with less than a minute remaining in the second period. The Soviets hanging on to a 1-0 lead.
Well, this is an important kill right here with only 52 seconds left in the period, 41 seconds left in the penalty. If Russia or Czechoslovakia can get out of this, it's going to give them maybe a little bit of lift going into the third period. And there's Wayne again watching on.
What do you think he's learning out of this?
Well, I'm sure he's watching the centerman on the face-offs, what to do maybe on that. Picking up a few points on the power play and penalty killing. I'm sure he's watching the Czech penalty killing, whereas Wayne likes to get behind the net and hold the puck. Maybe he'll notice that they'll be rushing him a little bit.
They'll chase him, that's for sure. You've seen that right now, and they do it right here now. He's trying to come out of his zone and spun around with Krutov. They've run him a couple of times, but he's been pretty good. Maybe the best forward for the Soviet Union in this game. Head back in, Bilялетдинов. Bilялетdinov heading out. Ahead, Larionov. He's unable to get loose. Here he comes now. Larionov now. He's got Makarov trailing, and he just couldn't get the pass to him. It was intercepted by Pashek, and he clears it down the ice. 9 seconds remaining in the period, and the penalty has ended. Out at center ice, Makarov. Makarov has successfully killed that penalty to Larionov. He hits the line. The siren goes, and we've done 2 periods here at the Montreal Forum. A little more physical, I thought, the second period, Darryl, and but still pretty good period of hockey.
There were some great body checks, open ice body checks. That's what we like to see. Czechoslovakia didn't have a lot of good scoring chances. I think they've only had maybe 2 or 3. When they get them, they do have to capitalize if they want to be in this hockey game. 1-0 game. Look forward to a good third period.
Well, the shots on goal, 4-3. A total of 7 shots in the second period. Czechoslovakia out shooting the Soviet Union 4-3. Total shots on goal 15-8. But the Soviets, with that goal at the 22-second mark of the period, have taken that 1-0 lead that you see right there. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Great team.
You're going to have to try and open it up a little bit, as you see Hasek, the other goaltender. But that then paves the way for chances for the Soviet Union. So you don't want to let this get out of hand too soon in the third period.
Well, I don't think the Czechoslovakian team will change much in their style. They know that they might get a possibility of a power play to get back into the hockey game. There's still 20 minutes left. They're only 1 shot away from tying it up, and they have to look at it that way. They cannot open things up. You know, when you give the Russians 3-on-2 or 2-on-1 breaks, that generally they put them in the net. So I think they're going to pretty well play the same close checking game they have, and if they get a few chances, maybe put them in.
Interesting thing, 8 of the 15 shots that the Soviets have taken have come from their number 1 line. Well, we expect that from number 1 lines, but at the same time, as you look at the coach for the Soviet Union, Viktor Tikhonov, you don't usually see that much of a control by 1 line for the Soviet Union. It would appear to me that the Soviets are letting everybody else protect their goaltender and just let the number 1 scoring line really do most of the offensive work.
Well, I think a number of the shots from this line have come on power plays. The Soviets have had a few power plays, and maybe that's why they have had a few more shots than the other lines. But this line has been together, like we said, for 4 years, and they know where each other are out there on the ice, and naturally they're going to get a few more chances. Bukac, he likes to put this line of Pashek, Korbela, and Hrdina against him, and that's a tough job. In most tournaments when they play, this line is against the top Soviet line, and it's not an easy job shutting them down.
Well, there you see young Pashek there. And as you say, he's got a tough job ahead of him, checking one of the finest centers in the world, and Igor Larionov. Larionov, part of the number 1 line for the Soviet Army team. The Soviet national champions. Kadlets now at center ice. His play is underway in the third period. Makes a move and then gets the shot away. Pashek going in after it. So's Korbela against the boards. He strips it loose. Pashek gets it in the corner now. He's taken out of the play. Soviets start out now. Larionov, rink wide pass. Krutov is cradling it. Now works to the line. Larionov trying to duck out of the way of a charging Krutov, and he can be like a locomotive out there, and he forced the offside himself.
Well, the game's been getting a little chippy. I noticed towards the end of the second period there have been a few hits, a few guys pushing each other back in the face. There's young Krutov. He's a great hockey player. He's one of the leading scorers over in the Soviet Union. He's going to be a big influence for this hockey club in this tournament.
There you see Kasatonov going to the bench with him. Bob Gainey told me he's one of the most intense hockey players he has ever played against. He's had to check him at times. Such a tremendous desire. Goes for the net well. Clear down the ice now. Back to get it for Czechoslovakia is Staviana, and as he touches it, icing is called, and we're back into the Soviet zone. So we're up to a rather slow start here in the third period. They're quite close to the vest as much as they can. As you look very closely there at Vladimir Tsalder, the young captain of this team. When I say young, I mean it, because he's only been playing with his national team a while.
He's made his debut back in 1983 in the World Championships, and like you say, already they've made him the captain. He replaces the Chernik, who is going to play for the Detroit Red Wings next season.
Puck out at center ice now. They flip it in, and Hasek has to get out of the net. Clear it in against the boards himself. Now digging it loose is Svetlov, but coming back now, Hrdina. Hrdina tried to get it out to center ice and past Bilyaletdinov, but Bilyaletdinov cleared it to the wing, and it's cleared back in again. Pervukin doing the clearing against the boards. Stalder's there now. Stalder gets that puck loose, and his wingmate, Ruzicka, clears it to center ice. Now Stalder again. Stalder. Ubera, the defenseman. Rides it back deep into his own zone. Staviana. Staviana now down to the line. Staviana with Lala. Loose puck in there. Lala hooks it free. Ruzicka couldn't control it, though. Staviana after it again, but the Soviets break out. At center ice now. Again, they're stopped, and back come the Czechoslovakians with Lala. Lala making the move now, going in on the net, and just in the last instant, Pervukin got his big stick in there and poked it behind the net. Now at center ice, Svetlov, Semenov, Yashin. He's checked by Liba. Liba circling in his own zone, feeds it as they crisscross at center ice, and Svozil. Svozil over the line, and Semenov cutting back again, clears it to the line. Lala's got it. He's got a teammate trapped in there. Now waits for him and fires it off the boards back into the Soviet zone. Picking it up for the Soviets, Bilyaletdinov. Clear to center ice now. Varnakov racing after it. Varnakov with Hasek way out of the net, and he just hooks it into the corner of this side from Musil. Musil along the boards, cleared back again behind the net. Varnakov trying to jam it in. Went by everybody. Here comes Czechoslovakia now as it starts to pick up. Liba, he's got a great shot. Takes it, and it hit the leg of the defenseman Igor Stelnov. At center ice now, Musil. Musil clearing it to the line, inside the blue line now. Skvortsov, far side. At center ice now, Kovin. Kovin working for the line, gets it in front of the net. The shot! Save is made by Hasek, and the whistle goes, and there'll be a face-off. The net came off the moorings on those new magnetic nets, and as it does so, we'll have a play with the stoppage in play. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Who do you like, Earl, so far?
It's anybody's hockey game, but the Czechoslovakian team cannot give up 2-on-1s, such as that last play. Kovin made a good play over to Skvortsov, but Hasek came up with a big save on him, but they cannot be giving the Russians too many chances like that, else it's going to cost them.
Horsheva clearing it in. Kamish in there deep. The goaltender was out, and there's a quick chip shot. You can't make those mistakes either. Rosso got the shot away. Inside the blue line, Kamish once again. They're buzzing around this young line. Here it comes again, and again, Rosso got the pass out. Couldn't get the shot away. Here's Kodlet. Shot is deflected wide. Horsheva keeps it in at the blue line. Now Semenov. Semenov clearing it through center ice. Working back is Klima. Klima fighting off a check from Shepelov and shot it in there. Kamish, two players overskated. Horsheva moves in after it. He clears it against the boards, lost sight of it. And Gimaev out at center ice now. Down over the line. Kojevnikov, 2-on-1. Kojevnikov shot it wide. Comes back to the blue line now. At the line, it is kept in. Semenov there. Now it's Czechoslovakia coming out. At center ice, Kamish. He shoots it. Hit Gimaev as he got in front of it. Shepelov comes right back in over the line. I think Czechoslovakia would like to make a change here. Rosol at center ice. Crosses center ice now, working to the line. Flips it in for Klima. Klima going in the backhand. And the bad save is made by Mышkин. Plays his position very well. In the corner, Klima going after that puck. Kazatonov's in there battling against Klima. Fights off the check. Hrdina in there. Klima's there as two. Kasatonov doing a lot of slugging along the boards. Now it's poked away from him by Hrdina. Clears it in front. Backhand pass in front again. It's loose. They shoot right on. Big save made by Mышкин, and he covers up. Whoa.
Mышkин came up big when he had to. This line has impressed me all night long, this young line. They have lots of speed. You're in on top of these Soviet defensemen, making them cough up the puck and creating some pretty good scoring chances. Here's the pass out. He receives it on his backhand. It's another good pass across, and here's a clear-cut chance. Mышkin was down, made a good save, covered up. The Soviet defensemen are very good at taking the Czechoslovakian players out in front of the net, not giving them lots of time to shoot the puck.
Well, they're going to toss both Kasatonov and Pashek out for a couple of minutes here for the little roughing that went on after the play.
Those are the type of saves you need in such a hockey game if you're going to win it, that's for sure.
Well, there's Kasatonov, veteran, one of the finest defensive pairings in the world. Kasatonov and Fetisov, when they're together, we were all speculating how Kasatonov would play without Fetisov, and we can say very well, thank you very much.
Sure does.
Sometimes you get overshadowed by the people you play with, and in this particular instance, not so. He's played very well. He's cleared in there again. So the teams are playing a man short right now. And out at center ice comes Krutov now. Krutov working to the line. Uvira is back. Uvira, Krutov. The shot is wide. Is breaking for the net. Trying to get in front with Bilyaletdinov. Playing up front now in this penalty-killing scheme of things. Now gets back to the defensive position. Staviana trying to fight his way past Bilyaletdinov. The far side, Tervukin out at center ice. They've got Makarov and Krutov. Makarov gets the pass from Krutov around behind the net, trying to stuff it in there, and Pashek just covered up on the short side and holds on for the faceoff. Exactly 5 minutes gone in the third period. Soviets continue to hold that 1-0 lead. As you look at the worried visage there of Ludi Bukac. And there are the fellows who are in for roughing at 4:18. Dusan Pashek, Alexei Kasatonov.
I've heard the Soviets being interviewed since I've been here in Montreal about how much the Olympics mean to them and how much the World Championships mean to them. And they kind of downplay the Canada Cup, but there's no way they'd be over in Russia 3 weeks before this series started, practicing on smaller ice surfaces and going on the North American time, getting ready for such a tournament. It did mean a lot to them.
Now, they are dead serious about this. Here's Semenov inside his own zone. Working through center ice, gets the return pass now. Semenov shot wide of the net, reaching for it. For the Soviets is Svetlov, can't get it. Behind the net now, Salder. Salder just dropping it back now, and for Czechoslovakia, it's Bainak. Coming out of his zone, pass to the open wing, and it's flipped off the boards, and Semenov is back there to pick it up. Semenov with a bit of skating room at center ice now. Rare occasion, tries to get by the defense. Bainak just stepped into him. On the corner, stopping. That's Musil. Circling back, set it. He fell down, and Musil has to go in and cover up once again as they end up getting a little bit of problem inside the zone. Now Salder. Salder back deep again. Lala blocked, leaving it for Musil. Musil was forced back once again. Neither team is really going on the offensive here. It's almost like they're killing off the time until they can get to full strength again and work their patterns a little better. Now Starikov goes in. Klima's right on top of him. Starikov retains possession of the puck, rolls it to the side of the net, trying to get loose in there is Semenov. Semenov checked, and Klima cuts in front of his own net, and here he comes down. Young Peter Klima at center ice takes the long drifting shot, blocked by Mышkin, and he covers up as the puck dropped down at his feet. So 1-0, Soviets continue to lead. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Yep. Standing next to me, Peter Mahovlich, a dominant force in the 1972 Canada-Soviet series, and in '76. Peter, what's impressed you about the hockey game here so far tonight?
Well, Eddie, I think both teams are playing extremely well defensively, and you know, the first game of the series for them, to play that type of game is a credit to their coaching staff.
Thanks a lot, Pete. Now back up to you.
Oh, fine. Good news to hear from Peter. Peter Mahovlich, fellow that started, I guess, all of the sweater changing after that '76 Canada Cup. I don't know what he thought, why he thought so highly of Yaroslav Pozar's sweater, but
Well, I think it was that the Czechoslovakian players seemed to have a lot of character and a lot of personality. And again, we both respected each other's hockey clubs, and it was a tough-fought series. And at the end of it, when it was all over, there was still a lot of friendship there.
You still got the sweater, have you, Darrell?
Sure do.
Over the line, Skvortsov now. Skvortsov cutting for the corner now, trying to cut around the net. Still has that puck, getting a little bit of room. Finally, they chase him off it, and it was cleared away by Musil. Musil, Klimov, Musil with him, and Musil gets the pass, makes a good move at center ice now. It's over the line. Kadlitz in against the boards. Behind the net, drops it back in front of the net. Klimov couldn't knock it down. Skvortsov then tries to get it in front of the net and out to center ice. Kadlitz back inside his own zone. Klimov coming back on the play, lost the puck, and they score! Just a slight mishandling of the puck, and the Soviet Union capitalized so very, very quickly. And suddenly it's 2-0 on a goal by Mikhail Varnakov.
That's a big goal for the Russians right there. Young Klima had the puck. It was bouncing a little bit. He lost it. Soviet player turned around and just fired the shot. Good shot, good hard shot. Hasek really didn't have much of a chance on it.
Just a bullet by Varnakov, who comes off that line from the Gorky torpedo. 7:15 the time of the goal, and it's 2-0 for the Soviet Union now. Well, now what does Czechoslovakia do?
Well, it's going to be awful difficult for them to come back. I can remember watching the gold medal game in Sarajevo. It was a similar type game. It was a 2-0 hockey game, and the Russians get up on you like that. Now they're going to try to check and not give you any scoring opportunities at all.
They haven't had a goal scored on them in a major tournament in a long time. Remember, they closed off the Olympic Championship Series with a couple of shutouts in a row. Rolled out in front again. Now Liba in against the boards now. They're going to have to try and open it up a little bit. Goals for and against, of course, are a factor in this tournament. Liba back out at center ice. Staviana clears it to an open wing. Koshevnikov now. 12:15 remaining. Liba ahead for Uvira. Uvira just had to go off his skate into the Soviet zone. Pervukin clears it back out to center ice. And here we go again. Shepelev back into his zone. Cleared out to center ice once again by Bilyaletdinov. Now back in over the line. There's a quick shot. The rebound comes out off Pashek. And deep in his zone now. Starting out for the Czechoslovakian national team. Staviana out to center ice. But again, Bilyaletdinov to the far side for Pervukin. Pervukin clears it all the way down the ice. Uvira going back to get it behind his own net. And as he does, icing is called. Face-off down in the Soviet end. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Vladimir Krutov from the Central Red Army Sports Club of Moscow. Great Soviet star, part of the #1 line for the Soviets.
I think an interesting note is the number of young players that play in Czechoslovakia compared to the number of players that play in Russia. Czechoslovakia has about 30,000 young players playing. The Soviet Union has well over 1 million, so a lot more players to groom and to choose from.
Front of the net now. It's cleared out to center ice, and Musil's got it. Musil along the boards. He is knocked down by Makarov. Starikov now. Out of his own net. Clears it off the boards and back out to center ice, and Musil, number 6 for the Soviet Union, or at least for Czechoslovakia, being chased by the Soviet Union's Igor Larionov. That's the boards. Larionov trying to dig it out. Now around behind the net, flips it out. It's a quick shot. Makarov was right there in front of the net. The shot was taken by Kharutov. Now Musil. 2-0. Soviets lead. Ahead. Rusitska deflecting it out to center ice, and Larionov. Cutting in front of his own net, feeds it ahead for Makarov, who just eases it down into the Czechoslovakian zone now. Baynak back, feeds it off the boards for Musil. Circling behind the net. Musil feeds it back against the flow now. There's zone is Baynak. Baynak is checked. Salder has to come over. Salder can't control it. Now the checking. You see what happens when the Soviets get a 2-0 lead. They just put the clampers on.
They sure do.
Center ice, cleared off the boards once again. Baynak, Musil in his own zone. Now Larionov. It's interesting to see a high-scoring line like the Larionov line do the checking job that they're doing right now. They're very adept in every aspect of the game. Stelnov shooting it in. Baynock also moving in there now as it's fed off against the boards. Yashin trying to control, cleared in front of the net, and winds up in the corner. Now Semenov, Makarov, who's stuck on the ice right now as they try to complete a change. Kazantonov, and here comes Czechoslovakia at center ice with Hrdina. 2-on-1. Hasek over the far side, hopped over his stick. Yashin feeds it right back out to center ice. Semenov to the line now. Tries to get the return pass, cuts for the net, feeds it in. The shot deflected wide. Defense got in the way of that one. Now Horshova out at center ice. Semenov going deep into his own zone to pick up the puck. Moving into forecheck is Hrdina. Korbola trying to control it deep inside the zone. Kazantonov stripped it away from him, but it's back at the point for Horshova. Fakes the shot, had trouble handling it. Now it hits Svetlov, and it's out at center ice again. Korbola shooting it in. That rising shot, and then loose in front of the net. Hasek trying to get set, and he shot it wide. He was being harassed from behind by both Kazantonov there and Gusarov. Now Horshova in his own zone. Kodlet, Horshova at center ice now. The lead pass off Rosel's stick, and as Rosel is reaching back for it, he took a good hit there from Gusarov. Back inside the zone. Still the sympathies of the crowd right now are with Czechoslovakia. Horshova through center ice, winds up with a long shot, gets the rebound, drips it in there again. They got 2 quick shots on, but they were from a long way out, and Mышkin handled them well. Now Kadlet's getting tripped up in his own skate. Soviets wind up with possession inside the Czechoslovakian zone. Kadlet's is back in there to help out. Head straight ahead. Czechoslovakia. Rosol at center ice, lost possession. Klima's got it. Fine young player for Czechoslovakia. Peter Klima moving for the net now. Kamesh is the man in front, but they couldn't get it to him. And the Soviet Union takes over once again. Out at center ice, leading the rush is Varnakov. Over the line, Varnakov along with Kubin. Out in front of it, they score! Skvortsov, I think. And the Soviet Union leads 3-0.
Well, there was a case of another 3-on-1 by the Russian team. Some great passing there. Right on the forehand. He shot it as soon as he got it.
So it's 3-0 now. Soviet Union leading. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. Well, there's a look at it.
Varnakov makes a nice pass over to Kovin. The winger, Skvortsov, he's all alone in front of the net. It's a perfect pass right on his forehand. He just had to let it go as quick as he can into the lower corner.
Well, it is Skvortsov, the right winger, getting it from Kovin, the center, and Varnakov, the left wing. That's the way it's scored. 12-13, and it's 3-0 Soviet Union. The whole line, of course, part of the Gorky Torpedo when they play their regular season in the Soviet First Division. Back they come now. To the line, Gimaev keeps it in deep now. Shepelef was in there as well, but it winds up back at center ice with Bilyaletdinov ahead. Third over the line. One deep. Baynock trying to beat the forward there. It's a quick shot, but it's shot it high, and the rebound comes up the back boards. And Liba, who hasn't really had much chance to get his skating underway in this game. Now it's cleared by Svozil down into the Soviet zone. Buchan, Shepelev. And up come the Soviets with Gimaev giving it to Kojevnikov. Kojevnikov bumped off the puck by Musil as he hit the line. Svozil's back there to get it. He's number 22 for Czechoslovakia. Ahead, Lukács gets 3. Over the line now. And Bilyaletdinov with that good speed got right back into play. Liba hit a check behind the net against the boards. Kodlet keeps it in, but finally it's Gimaev coming out. Gimaev over the line for Makarov. Makarov going to the net, loose in front. Down goes Hasek, and he holds it out. We'll have a face-off deep inside the Czechoslovakian zone. 13 minutes, 25 seconds gone in the third period. There's the score. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.
Here's a shot from on top of the forearm where Varnakov comes in. He makes a little pivot. The defenseman skates right by him. He maybe should have went for him. Kovin throws it across right onto Skvortsov's forehand. Again, Hasek really didn't have any chance on that. It was a nice play by the Russians. Great passing.
And again, that advantage of playing together a lot. They knew exactly where each other would be. Skvortsov capitalized. 3-0 now out in front of the net. Larionov couldn't get the shot away. There's a shot that's blocked at the defense. And out comes Czechoslovakia once again. Lala along the board. Salder back inside the zone, but it's cleared by Starikov out to center ice. But Czechoslovakia comes back 2-on-1. Now Ruzicki gets the pass, tries to get set, shoots it. And the save is made by Moishkin. And out come the Soviets once again with Krutov, but he's checked from behind by Lala. Lala swinging back inside his own zone. Hey, give it away inside the zone, but quickly recovering on the play was Horshev as he cut in front of the net. Now Horshev has got it behind the net. He's number 4 for Czechoslovakia. Forechecking on the play is Makarov. Out come the Soviets once again with Lala. Plays Czechoslovakia inside the zone. Larionov coming back for the Soviet Union. Now a rink-wide pass. Krutov just simply couldn't catch up with it. Kodlets shoots it back out to center ice. Hrdina pokes it free along the boards. But the Soviets with Starikov feeding it to the line. Hrdina again through center ice, and back comes Makarov. Makarov getting set, and he's checked just as he tried to get the shot away by Kodlets. Makarov behind the net now. He's checked, and the Czechoslovakians come back. At center ice carrying the puck for Czechoslovakia is Paschek to the line. Starikov gets that rebound. Against the boards, there's a shot hit the side of the net. That one taken by Hrdina. Now along the boards at center ice, Uvira, but he couldn't reach it as Makarov checked it away. Makarov, Larionov to the line. Larionov trying to stick handle through. Korbola takes the puck. Korbola. Hrdina shooting it in. It's gloved by goaltender Vladimir Moishkin, and as he sees a few white sweaters coming in on him, he covers up alertly and holds for the faceoff.
Czechoslovakia has had a few good scoring chances throughout the game. They just haven't been able to capitalize on them. Sometimes you need a break to get you going at a certain time in a hockey game. Tonight they haven't got that break, and they're behind and they're in trouble at this point of the hockey game.
Well, in the third period here, the Soviets have taken back control of the game a little bit. They hold it's about 7-7. I guess the shots on goal are about even. A total of 21-19 favor the Soviet Union at this stage. On the face-off now, Uvira at the blue line. And against the boards, cleared out through center ice again. And now it's Savianov. And again, this time Paschek is the one who covers up as he sees a few red sweaters around him. And so we'll have a face-off in the Czechoslovakian zone again. 3-0 the score. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV. So we're set for the face-off deep in the Czechoslovakian zone. And Errol, one thing I think the Team Canada knows is neither one of these teams is going to be a patsy for them.
Well, I think they know that, and they have a big game coming up Monday night against US of A, and they're not going to be easy by any means. I think the Canadian players feel that might be the most physical game of the whole tournament, because they do play against National Hockey League players, most of them with the United States, and it is going to be a physical game.
Tomic now at center ice, down to the line. They're right back down by Kasatonov into the Czechoslovakian zone. This time it's icing and back into the Soviet zone for the face-off. A reminder that we'll be back on the air tomorrow night, right from this very same location, for the second Team Canada game of the Canada Cup. That will be against the USA, 8 o'clock Eastern time for the telecast. Join us across the CTV network as we look at František Musil.
He's a fellow that he's the English interpreter of the hockey club. He's 200 pounds. He's a big boy, and he's only 19 years of age, and you're going to see him in a lot of international competition in the next few years.
Well, you see him right there with the puck, but he got a weak pass away. It was deflected away from any kind of recipient of the pass, and now Musil back in his own zone. Now drops the pass off. That's Bainok, his defense partner, out at center ice. Rosso hit as he came to the line, and player was offside, so Klima had to circle with it. Gives it to Musil. He shoots it in. Kazatonov's back there once again for the Soviets. Out for Semenov. Intercepted. Comes in. Bainok. The shot, and he blasted it. And again, good reactions by Moishkin, who's shown us a lot in this hockey game. And now a little ill temper there between Klima and Yashin. Klima took a little slash at him just at the end of the play as the whistle went.
Moishkin's made a lot of excellent saves tonight. He goes down on the butterfly style. He gets his pad out on it. Point-blank shot. He plays like that throughout the tournament. All teams are going to have tough time scoring, that's for sure.
Moishkin Canadian fans, of course, remember him from the Challenge Cup in '79, the shutout he registered in the final game. Everybody surprised that Tretiak didn't play that final game, and he came away with a shutout. Here's a quick shot. Oh, he lets that one go. It's Varnakov again. Deep inside the zone. Hitting it in the corner is Kovin. He's knocked off the puck. Also in there is Skvortsov. This line again buzzing around. The line that comes from Gorky. Here's Horsheva. Horsheva over the line, gets it in front of the net now. It's Vozil. Vozil working through some traffic in the corner. And there's a slash. They're both going. Liba retaliated after he took a pretty good shot from Bilялетдинов. And so they're both going to go, but the retaliation is what cost them a manpower advantage, Czechoslovakia. Liba not going to have a little discussion also with Mышkin. Well, Bilялетдинов gave him a pretty good shot to start it. Let's take a look at this.
Bilялетdinov, he's a big, strong defenseman, and he's noted for being a little mean there.
Whoa.
There was a little bit of interference there, a little elbow in the head, and a retaliation punch.
And then further retaliation by Liba. Ron Wicks, the referee, saw the first retaliation, and he saw the second retaliation. So they both go anyway. So, coincidental minors, 2:58 left in the hockey game. 3-0, the Soviets lead. I'll let them cool it out a little bit right there. Igor Liba, who was voted the best player in Czechoslovakia last year. A good player. He's got tremendous speed and a great shot.
He hasn't had much chance to show that tonight. Check very closely.
So, face off at the top rim of the circle. Gimaev wins the draw. Starikov cutting in front of his own net now. Salder's in there forechecking, being tied up by Svetlov. But the puck is cleared down the ice, and will be called on the two-line pass. So back into the Soviet zone for a face-off. 2:50 left. Good crowd here at the Montreal Forum to watch this game. There you see the recipients of the penalties issued by Ron Wicks. They mentioned, of course, the absence of Fetisov, but the Soviets are also missing what I think is one of the great rising Soviet stars. The #1 scorer in the Soviet League last year, top scorer in the Olympics, Igor Drozhetsky. Drozhetsky suffered injury to his kidneys in a tournament in Italy. He apparently is going to be back playing for the Soviet Union when they hit their training camp late in September. But he's not available for this tournament. Nikolai Drozhetsky. So, there's icing called again, and this game is kind of winding down now. All right, Darrell, we'll put you on the spot. Labatt's player of the game, the Soviet Union. Who do you like?
Well, maybe Krutov. I think he played fairly well tonight. For Czechoslovakia, Hasek's played very well, and I like Klima. I thought he played very strong game.
All right. Well, we've got a couple to choose from then. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Hasek, certainly in the first period for Czechoslovakia, kept the Soviets off the score. You know, you got to give yourself a chance to win the game. Sometimes you don't, but you got to have good early goaltending in a game, and I think that the Czechoslovakian team got that. They just were unable to put a puck behind Mышkin, the Soviet Union, at least so far. Krutov has just been, well, some of that, what Bob Gainey described as that desire, I think, shone through in this game. He has just been very, very tough. He's been doing a lot of checking. Now we'll see how the jury sees it on the other side of the ice. They get a different view. All right, Hasek behind his own net now, starting out, and he's checked. They have really just settled down to a very solid job of checking Czechoslovakia now. Radina unable to even get free here at center ice. Musil couldn't get it. Baynock gets it over the line, but boy, they're just lining up on that blue line right now. And here's Kasatonov at center ice, ahead for Gimaev, and it's offside at the line. As kind of caught trying to straddle the line there was Shevnikov, and so with 1:32 left, we'll have another face-off. There's Gimaev, Erik Gimaev from the Army. He's been around. He's been up and down with this team, and he seems to go in and out of favor with his coach, Victor Tikhonov, but he's here for this tournament, so obviously he's in favor right now.
Maybe what they call you a utility player, I guess, if you're one of those type of players. Can play defense and he can play forward very effectively.
He's filling in for Tjumenev, who's a fine young player who was hurt in the exhibition series, and he'll be bringing in, as a matter of fact, he's flying in tomorrow by a Soviet Aeroflot to Mirabel to play in the next game in this series. Mikhail Vasilyev, who was left behind. So Vasilyev is back in the lineup now. Well, out comes Kasatonov now. They just dropped the puck around there. Now with 1:04 left in the game, out at center ice, it's Gusarov. He clears it in. Less than a minute remaining now. And at center ice, Kasatonov again. The penalized players get back on the ice at the line. Coming in over the line now. And unable to really get loose as he hit the line was Peter Rosso. Well, they'll try it again over the line, and knocked down as he came in was Kotlitz, and he kind of looked at Ron Wicks and said, where was the call? And Ron Wicks said, the call is right here, and there'll be a penalty with 42 seconds left in the game.
A little chippiness out there. Gusarov took a shot at check forward there. He caught him a little bit, stuck out his foot to trip him, and then after that, I think it was Liba took a swat at Gusarov with his stick as he was going to the box. So there's no love between these two teams, that's for sure.
Never has been and never will be. He's been involved in a few little things in this game. They got their little tricks. They give you a stick once in a while.
They're definitely not intimidated. I would say a few years ago when we played them in 76 and 72, maybe they were a little intimidated by the North American style of play, but the last few years, that's gone all out of the game.
Well, you know, the difference is, Darrell, that for years up until 1972, you played international rules, and international rules did not allow forechecking. You couldn't go in and hit in the other zone. And so the Soviets just weren't used to having a guy pour in on them. And I still think it might have been the difference in the 1972 series.
Well, they sure made up for it in the past 10 years, that's for sure.
They found out, didn't they? Here's Zerwira. And, of course, the international game has improved because of it. Now it's a very, very spectacular event. Now we got 10 seconds left in the hockey game. Out at center ice on the power play, Uvira just stopped at the line. Makarov, he just stripped it away from him. He stepped into him with 1 second left at center ice. Fabiana controlling the puck, and that's it. The siren goes. This hockey game is over, and the Soviets have recorded yet another shutout victory. We go back through the last couple of games of the Olympics, the last big tournament they were in. Now there's young, of course. There you see the blonde hair of Vladimir Mышkин as he comes out of his goaltending equipment. He's recorded this particular shutout. The last two were recorded by his predecessor, Vladislav Tretiak.
Well, he's played very well. When the Czech team did have few opportunities on him, he came up with some pretty big saves, and maybe that's what he needs, is the chance to be #1 goalie, to come up and prove what he can do. He's always played in the shadow of Tretiak, who, you know, I think was the best goalie, has been the best goalie in the world, and maybe this is the next best goalie coming up.
We'll see. A long way to go in this tournament, but the Soviet Union now moves into a tie with the USA and Canada undefeated. There's the bottom three, of course, the teams that suffered losses. So Czechoslovakia, along with the losses by Germany and Sweden yesterday. So next, of course, the USA and Canada. That game tomorrow night here in the Montreal Forum before the scene shifts in the Canada Cup tournament, at least for Team Canada, to Vancouver later on in the week against Sweden. So we're awaiting now the presentation of the Player of the Game awards. The Soviet Union, as you see them lined up along the blue line. We look at this hockey game, and I think it was everything that it was expected to be. It was tough, very tough at times, very close checking. And the Soviet Union, when they got the lead, especially when they got the 2-0 lead, they just had the clampers on, and there was really not much Czechoslovakia to do.
They picked up their forwards. They checked after they got the lead. They're a very tough hockey club to score on. Like I said, you don't get a lot of good chances on them. When you do, you have to put them in, and Czechoslovakia just didn't put them in tonight.
Louis Morin. M. Morin sera accompagné du publiciste et gérant général du Journal de Montréal qui célèbre cette année leur 20e anniversaire, M. André Gourde. Le joueur par excellence là-bas de la rencontre pour l'équipe de l'Union soviétique recevra une sculpture esquimau de gracieuseté de Esso. The Labatt's player of the game for the Soviet Union team will receive an Eskimo carving provided through the courtesy of Esso. Et numéro 9, number 9, Vladimir Krutov.
Well, Darrell, you're 3 for 3.
Receiver 4 for 4. He deserved it. He played very well, played a strong game, both offensively and defensively.
Well, I'll tell you, he is solid. He's not
Le
very
joueur
tall.
par excellence de la rencontre pour l'équipe de la Tchécoslovaquie recevra une caméra Canon T70. The Labatt's player of the game for the Czechoslovakian team will receive a Canon T70 camera. Le numéro 2, number 2, Dominique Hachek.
4 for 4.
Well, he played an outstanding game. He kept the Czechs in there when he had the goals they did score. He really didn't have any chance on them. They're really high on this fellow, and we're going to see a lot of them throughout the tournament.
Okay, Dominik Hasek, age 19, and he is the player of the game for Czechoslovakia. This is Labatt's Canada Cup on CTV.